The most dangerous man in the world isn't the one screaming for attention or the one throwing a tantrum in the middle of a crowded room. The most dangerous man is the one who quietly sat down, looked at the game being played, and decided he was done. He didn't leave a note. He didn't make a scene. He simply stopped participating. Right now, all across the globe, a silent exodus is happening. You won't see it on the evening news and you won't hear it discussed in mainstream circles, because the people who should be worried are too busy enjoying the silence to realize it's actually the sound of a foundation crumbling. Men are walking away. Not because they are bitter, not because they are hateful, and certainly not because they've lost their drive. They are walking away because they are exhausted. They are tired of being the only ones expected to carry the weight of a bridge that leads to nowhere. They've stopped the chasing, the first texts, the elaborate date planning, and the endless auditioning for a role they never even applied for. They've realized that in the modern world, being a good man isn't enough unless you're an exceptional product. And for the first time in history, millions of men have looked at the price tag of modern love and decided they'd rather keep their change. Think about the sheer amount of pressure a man faces today. For years, he's been told he needs to be the provider, the protector, the emotional rock, the comedian, the therapist, and the top 1% earner. He's told to be vulnerable but not weak, strong but not threatening, ambitious but always present. He followed the blueprint. He went to the gym, he climbed the corporate ladder, he worked on his communication, and he showed up with flowers and a plan. But every time he reached the finish line, someone moved the goalposts another 10 miles back. Every time he gave his best, he was met with a checklist of why his best was actually just the bare minimum. We live in a culture that treats men like disposable utility. You are valued for what you can provide, what you can fix, or how much you can endure. But the moment you ask for peace, the moment you ask for reciprocation, the world calls you entitled. It's no wonder the modern man's apartment has become his sanctuary. It's finally quiet there. No one is telling him he's failing a test he didn't know he was taking. No one is comparing him to a fictional character on a screen. There is just the hum of the refrigerator and the weight of his own thoughts. And for many men, that silence feels more like love than any relationship they've had in a decade. The shift didn't happen with a bang. It happened in the tiny, microscopic moments of disappointment. It happened when a man spent 3 hours planning a date only to be ghosted 20 minutes before it started. It happened when he shared his deepest fears and had them weaponized against him in an argument a week later. It happened when he realized that loyalty has become a vintage concept, something people talk about but no one actually practices. Modern dating has become a marketplace, an endless digital scroll where humans are treated like shelf items in a grocery store. If you have a dent in your packaging or if your price is too high for the current budget, you're tossed aside for the next shiny thing. Men have caught on to the algorithm. They see that they are being measured against an impossible standard of perfection that doesn't exist in reality. They've realized that in this new economy of attention, they are the ones paying the highest tax for the lowest return. So they stopped paying. They deleted the apps, they stopped the hey messages, and they started pouring that same energy into themselves. When a man stops chasing, he finds clarity. It's a terrifying thing for a society that relies on male labor and male pursuit to keep the wheels turning. When men stop caring about being chosen, the entire power dynamic of the modern world shifts. Suddenly, the gym isn't about looking good for someone else. It's about the discipline of the lift. The career isn't about buying a ring or a house for someone who might leave next year. It's about building a legacy that belongs to him. The late-night hobbies aren't distractions. They are the soul coming back to life. This isn't a retreat into the shadows. It's an evolution into the light of self-respect. We are witnessing the birth of the centered man. He is a man who is not defined by who he is with, but by who he is when he is alone. He has learned the hard way that a woman's maybe is a no, and that his always was often taken for granted. He has tasted the sweetness of a Sunday afternoon with no arguments, no demands, and no confusion, and he has realized that peace is a drug more addictive than any romance. The world wants to shame these men. You'll hear them called incels, losers, or commitment phobes. But look closely at the men walking away. They aren't the ones living in their parents' basements. They are the high performers, the quiet builders, the guys who used to be the life of the party but now prefer a book and a clean kitchen. They are men who have simply decided that the cost of admission to modern intimacy is too high for a seat in the nosebleed sections. They are tired of being treated like an applicant for a job that doesn't pay a living wage. In the past, a man's effort was rewarded with a partner's devotion. Today, effort is often rewarded with a request for more effort. It's a subscription model where the terms of service change every week, and the cancel button is always being hovered over. When a man realizes he is replaceable in the eyes of his partner, He begins to see the partner as unnecessary in his own life. This silent rebellion is the result of a massive double standard. We celebrate the independent woman, who doesn't need a man, and we should. But when a man says he doesn't need a relationship to be whole, the world looks at him like he's a broken machine that we tell women to set boundaries and protect their peace. But when a man sets a boundary, he's called emotionally unavailable. If he wants a simple life, he's called unambitious. If he wants a traditional partner, he's called a dinosaur. He's stuck in a heads-you-win, tails-I-lose scenario. So he stopped playing the game entirely. He's realized that his value isn't a transaction. He doesn't need to buy a dinner to prove he's worthy of a conversation. He doesn't need to apologize for his masculine nature just to make someone else feel comfortable. He is rediscovering the power of no. No, I won't text you first for the 5th time. No, I won't pay for a stranger's time while they stare at their phone. No, I won't be your emotional support animal while you wait for a better option to come along. The irony is that as men find this peace, they become the very thing the world claims to be looking for. A man who doesn't need anyone is the most attractive version of a man. He doesn't beg, he doesn't plead, and he doesn't compromise his dignity for a moment of physical closeness. He has a presence that is grounded because it isn't seeking external validation. But by the time people notice this new version of him, he's usually too far gone into his own peace to care. He has built a life that is so sturdy, so calm, and so fulfilling that the idea of letting someone in, someone who might bring drama, chaos, or inconsistency, feels like a massive risk. He guards his solitude like a sacred temple. He's learned that it's better to be lonely by yourself than to be lonely while lying next to someone who doesn't see you. We have to ask ourselves, where did the appreciation go? Somewhere along the line, the small acts of male love became invisible. The oil changes, the fixed sinks, the long commutes, the quiet protection, the holding of the line, these things became expected like the air we breathe. They weren't seen as gifts, they were seen as the entry fee. And when the gratitude disappeared, the motivation followed. A man will move mountains for a woman who makes him feel like a hero. But he won't even move a pebble for someone who makes him feel like a nuisance. The modern world has made men feel like they are a problem to be solved rather than a person to be loved. Masculinity itself has been labeled toxic so often that men have decided to just take their masculinity elsewhere. They take it to the mountains, to the workshop, to the gym, and to their brothers. They are finding brotherhood in the void of romance. This isn't just about dating, it's about the soul of the man. When a man realizes his effort has no value in the marketplace, he stops selling. He begins to invest in himself. He starts to see that the market was rigged from the start. He was competing against airbrushed fantasies and high-status outliers while he was just a guy trying to be honest and kind. He was told to be nice, then punished for it. He was told to be dominant, then shamed for it. The confusion led to a massive internal shutdown. The heart stops showing up when it knows the outcome is already decided. This is why you see so many men in their 30s and 40s just opting out. They aren't angry. Anger takes energy. They are just indifferent. And indifference is the one thing no relationship can survive. Think about the subscription nature of modern love. In the past, marriage was a covenant, a for better or worse agreement. Today, it's often a for as long as I feel like it agreement. Men are logical creatures at their core. They look at the statistics, they look at the divorce courts, they look at the social incentives, and they realize the math doesn't add up. They see their friends losing half their assets and their access to their children after 10 years of hard work, and they ask, what is the reward for this risk? When the reward is a maybe, and the risk is everything, a smart man walks away. He chooses the studio apartment and the quiet life over the suburban house and the looming storm. He's not being a coward, he's being a realist. He's protecting the only thing he has left, his sanity. The new reality is that men have discovered that being alone is not a curse. It is a superpower. In solitude, a man can build himself into a titan. He can learn, he can grow, and he can master his own mind without the constant noise of someone else's expectations. He finds that the void everyone warned him about is actually filled with potential. He realizes that he was spending 90% of his emotional energy trying to keep someone else happy, only to receive 10% in return. When he takes that 90% and pours it back into his own life, his progress becomes exponential. He gets in the best shape of his life. He masters his finances. He finds hobbies that actually make him feel alive. He stops watching the clock and starts watching his own growth. But what happens to a world without the good man participating? We are starting to see the cracks. The "where are all the good men?" cry is getting louder, but the answer is simple. They are at home. They are at the gym. They are at work. They are minding their own business. They are tired of being the villain in everyone else's story, so they've stopped being a character altogether. They've realized that the only way to win a rigged game is to not play. And while society tries to shame them back into the arena, these men are busy building their own arenas. They are creating communities where respect is the baseline and effort is actually recognized. That we need to talk about the transactional trap. Modern dating feels like a series of negotiations. What do you bring to the table? Is a question that has replaced, who are you? When love becomes a business deal, the person with the most leverage wins. And in the digital age, it often feels like men have the least amount of leverage. They are one of 10,000 options in a woman's pocket. They are competing with the entire world for a single evening of attention. When you are treated like a commodity, you start to act like one. You go where you are valued. And if you aren't valued anywhere, you go into storage. You wait. You focus on your own production. The most profound thing a man learns when he walks away is that he doesn't need permission to be happy. He was raised to believe that his happiness was tied to his ability to make a woman happy. He was told that a happy wife means a happy life. But he's discovered a new secret. A peaceful mind means a powerful life. He has untethered his joy from the whims of another person. He doesn't wake up wondering what kind of mood his partner is in. He doesn't check his phone with a sense of dread. He is the master of his own emotional climate. This freedom is more valuable than any swipe right or casual encounter. It is the freedom of the self. As this silent revolution grows, the landscape of love will have to change. It will have to move away from performance and back toward partnership. It will have to move away from what can you do for me and back toward how can we build together. But until that shift happens, men will continue to disappear into the quiet. They will continue to choose the gym over the bar, the book over the app, and the peace over the chase. They aren't waiting for a savior, they've already saved themselves. They've realized that the love they were chasing was actually just a job they couldn't afford to keep. That if you are a man reading this or listening to this, and you feel that exhaustion in your bones, know that you aren't alone. That feeling isn't a failure, it's a wake-up call. It's your soul telling you that you've been pouring from an empty cup for too long. It's okay to step back. It's okay to choose your peace over their chaos. It's okay to stop auditioning. Your value isn't determined by how many people want to choose you, it's determined by how much you respect the man in the mirror. When you find that respect, the world's opinion of you becomes background noise. You aren't going your own way because you hate others. You're going your own way because you finally found yourself. The road ahead is quiet, but it is steady. It is a path of discipline, of self-reliance, and of deep, unshakable calm. It's a path where you don't have to explain your worth because your results speak for themselves. It's a path where love isn't something you hunt, but something that must earn a place in the sanctuary you've built. And if it never comes, that's fine too. Because a man who has mastered his own peace has already won the greatest prize life has to offer. He isn't walking away from life, he's finally walking into it on his own terms, with his head held high and his heart finally at rest. The world will continue to spin. The apps will continue to flash. The headlines will continue to mock. But for the man who has stepped out of the madness, none of it matters. He is busy building. He is busy breathing. He is busy being. He has discovered the greatest truth of the modern era. You can't be broken if you refuse to be handled. You can't be lost if you've stopped looking for someone else to be your map. You are the destination. You are the prize. You are the peace you've been looking for. In the end, this crisis isn't a tragedy, it's a filtration system. It is filtering out the men who are willing to be doormats and leaving behind the men who are willing to be pillars. It is showing us that the social contract is being renegotiated in real time. Men are no longer willing to trade their lives for a maybe. They are no longer willing to be the invisible labor of a society that doesn't like them. They are standing up by sitting out. And there is a profound beauty in that stance. It is the beauty of a man who has finally realized that he is enough, exactly as he is, without the validation of a world that forgot how to say thank you. So let the silence continue. Let the apartment stay quiet and the gym stay full. Let the good men find their way back to their own strength. Because when a man finally finds peace, he becomes a force of nature. He becomes untouchable. He becomes free. And in a world that tries to keep everyone in a state of constant craving and constant anxiety, a man who is content with himself is the ultimate rebel. He is the one who truly changed the game, not by winning it, but by realizing it wasn't worth playing. He is at peace. And that is the most powerful thing a man can ever be. This is the new reality. It's a world where the quietest men have the loudest impact because they are no longer providing the fuel for the fire. They've taken their matches and gone home. And as the fire of modern chaos starts to flicker and dim, the world might finally realize what it lost. But by then, the man will be miles away, walking his own path, under his own sun, finally free. If this message resonated with you, if you felt the weight of the chase and the beauty of the quiet, then you belong here. This is a space for the men who are rebuilding, the men who are choosing peace, and the men who are done apologizing for their existence. We are a community of the silent, the strong, and the self-reliant. Don't let the world drown out your inner voice with its endless demands. Your peace is your power, and it's time you reclaimed it. Hit the subscribe button and join us as we navigate this new reality together. Leave a comment below and share your story. When did you decide to stop chasing and start choosing yourself? Your journey might be the map another brother needs to find his way out of the noise. Stay grounded, stay focused, and above all, stay at peace. You've earned it.